16 after 11. Hang in there, sir. Hang in there, I'll be right with you. But 16 after 11, 21 degrees. So I've already won today so far. And for you guys, I tell you what, let me do this first.
Galaxy 107fm.
And for everybody that's joining us right now, and it is an absolute pleasure to have you back again. Now, we've already done a parcel opening this morning. We've already done a presentation to the world, a brand spanking new release to the world, and now we're going to do something completely different. This is absolutely fascinating. You're going to love it. We're going to be joined by Dr. John Epstein from the band Haymarket Riot, coming out of North Carolina, and believe me, you're going to love that. For you guys that are watching us right now on Facebook Live, thank you so much for coming back again and being a part of Galaxy and part of the Galaxy family. If you're going to be watching it a little later on over on YouTube, you know what to do, right? Yeah, you do. Sub, thumb, bell, bingo. Bell, notifications for later on, for when we have important interviews much like this. Haymarket Riot is in the house. Let's kick it off. I die a little right here at Galaxy. So how you feeling, John? You right?
Yeah, good. No. I was just thinking, what if the voice in your head is talking trash, man? What if it's a trashy woman talking trash?
Then I get told to be quiet.
That's funny.
Oh dear. You don't have to be nuts to work here, but by God it helps.
I think that's true across the board, man.
Yeah.
Anything that has anything to do with music.
Yeah.
There's got to be something wrong with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've spent a lifetime just trying to figure out what's wrong with me. That's what it is. It's music. It's my. I honestly tell everybody that I meet that music is my first mistress.
Yeah, I've heard people say that. Also, my religion.
Yeah, well, I can vouch for that one as well. But I'll tell you what, it's cost me a few marriages.
Me too.
Yeah, that has. Happens when you're in the music industry.
I end up playing blues bands, man.
Yeah, of
course. So there you go.
There you go. Raymond Shaw is joining us. Anthony Ligero is joining us as well. Anthony is coming up for an interview very, very shortly. Do you know Anthony Ligori?
I don't think so.
Okay. He's he's kind of like an Elvis impersonator.
Oh, cool.
And
I've known a couple of those.
He's travelled around with the Hammond brothers.
Okay.
And yeah, he's coming up for an interview very, very shortly. In fact, we spoke to the Hammond brothers just a couple of days ago. They think I'm nuts. I says, don't worry about it. I'm talking to a doctor at the other end of the week.
So, tell me more about that.
How much is it going to cost me?
Well, it's not about the money. It's about getting well and being the full you that you can be.
That's what they all say until I get a bill.
Well, think about it. It's in the psychiatrist's best interest to not cure you.
Well, it is. In fact, I've got another psychiatrist that I talked to coming out of New Jersey. And her name is Randy O'Neill. And I said to her one day, do psychiatrists talk to psychiatrists about their problems? She goes, of course we do. I said, so who charges who? She goes, who starts first?
You should work in a hospital.
You gotta have rules, man.
You do, you can just sit there and watch each other for a couple of hours.
Oh, man.
Memories are just wishes in the rain. If there's more, can I start again?
This song is quite
Pain, darkness, I try to erase. People don't see me, they don't see me in any case. I'm still missing in the rain.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 97.9 degrees inside here Fahrenheit. That's hot. Believe me, we have a thing called Kiwi air conditioning. Open the damn window, please. It's getting warm in here. 22 after 11 o'clock and 20 degrees outside. That's better, actually. A little cloudy, gloomy and nicey, so keeping the heat closer to the ground, really. It's Wednesday and officially Barbara says it's hump day, so we make sure that that's official. March 31st, last day of the month. You know what tomorrow is, don't you? Yeah, my favourite day of the year. Beware. Yeah, beware, believe me. April 1st. Yeah, I like to have a bit of fun on April 1st, so just be aware of that one. And today I'm really, really excited. I really, really am, because I'm joined by Dr. John Epstein from the band Haymarket Riot. Now, first of all, got to say hi to Terry Buchanan, who's a good friend of Dr. John. Now, Dr. John, you're a PhD. Tell me a little bit about the PhD to the doctorship that you have.
Well, okay, I'll make it short for you. Rock and roll is always what I've been about. And I figured out when I was in college working on my bachelor's degree that there was a whole branch of sociology dedicated to the study of rock music. And then a miracle occurred and Tipper Gore opened her mouth and started talking a whole bunch of junk about heavy metal and Satanism and suicide and drugs and just a bunch of garbage, which it was. And I said, well, somebody's got to speak up about this because that's ridiculous. So I decided that I would do a master's degree and look at the relationship between what kids were listening to at the time and their behaviors, you know, to see if there really was this relationship. And it turned out that it was exactly the opposite.
Absolutely.
So Tipper Gore wrote me a nasty letter, told me I was a bad man, and I cherish that.
Yeah, as you would, and believe me, I would too, actually, because I'm kind of on your side on that one. Believe me, I've spent a lot of years in the music industry myself. You don't call yourself a baby boomer. Why not? I like booming babies.
Well, I mean, technically I am, you know, but I was born in 1960, so I'm sort of on the cusp, right? I'm a Gen Xer rising.
Well, there you go. We got something in common.
I believe that we could get together and change the world to be a better place, and I also know for sure we won't. So I'm both.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the yin and yang of the truth right there. I got to be honest with you. I'm a 61 baby, so I'm not too far behind you.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So you get it. I mean, I don't really identify with the boomers that much, but there's at least the younger members of the Generation X thing are just like alien to me, because they grew up in a different culture. They had electronics that I didn't have.
Well, I tell you what, you've got a whole career right now coming from the Trump era.
Yeah.
You know, babies born in the Trump era, oh my God, they're going to need all the help they can get.
Well, hey man, I can go way political on that, but I do actually believe that the whole disintegration of this thing they called American exceptionalism, which was questionable to begin with, was completely destroyed by the erosion of the education system. And I believe that they did that absolutely on purpose. It was an orchestrated plan, because you got a bunch of stupid people and you can do whatever the hell you want, obviously. I mean, the proof is right there. All you got to do is flip on American television and you're like, wow.
Yeah, no, I don't like watching American television. I got to be honest with you, unless it's sport.
No, I don't either.
You know,
I watch BBC, buddy.
Yeah, well, it's not only that. I just don't have that lower intelligence. I'm sorry. But having said that, now we opened up the show with "I Die a Little." Now, tell me a little bit about that. Give me something about the lyrics there.
The lyrics were taken from a diary that was kept by a woman who was experiencing homelessness here in North Carolina. Her name was Chris Schumacher. And it was part of the Healing Blues Project, where we paired musicians with homeless people, and they would tell us their stories, and then we wrote songs with their stories, and then all the proceeds that we made from the sale of the album, which was significant actually, went directly back to the homeless organization that was working with all these people in North Carolina. So it was a win-win for them. And we took Chris's notebook, Kim Thor, who was also at Greensboro College at the time, took it and broke it down into lyrics rather than, diary entries. Gave it to Charlotte, who rewrote it into what it is now. And then Jim and I, the guitar player in Haymarket Riot, and I sat down and wrote the rest of it, and boom, there it goes. Interestingly, on the Healing Blues album, her husband's story is also on it.
Unreal, actually. Now, at the same time, believe me, the young lady that's singing on that, absolutely superb voice. It really, really is. Job well done. Kind of reminiscent to Terry Van Cunnen's Walk-In, for instance.
Yeah, well, that was on the Healing Blues album as well. In fact, I think that was the opening track on that album.
Yeah, believe me. And Terry told me something of a similar kind of story, if you know what I mean. So it was like, strangely, a little bit of deja vu with a different face. There you go.
The music community here in where Terry and I live is very strong and actually very community-oriented. Always has been. And I'm not exactly 100% sure why that is so, but it's nevertheless true. So when you hear about projects like the Healing Blues thing, people want to do it because they want to help. They want to make a difference.
I get that. Yeah.
Music's the thing. It heals, man.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely. It's a universal language. I get that. Then you'd know people like Matt Walsh, for instance. He comes from the same area. Yeah, and we're going to be talking to him very, very shortly. Now, at the same time, I just want to ask you, because I have a fan question for you. How does a fan get hold of you, John? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, do you respond?
I do respond primarily through Facebook for Haymarket Riot right now, because we've been trying to get our next album done for the past couple of years, and every time we get started, something screwed up happens. First time my drummer got killed by bees, I think I told you that. And then this time, it was the COVID thing. We were in pre-production, and boom, all of a sudden we had to stay home for a year and a half.
Now, you can't just leave it there. You got to let everybody know. Now, the drummer got killed by bees.
Yeah, actually, it was wasps.
Wasps.
Wasps. Boy, it was really actually tragic, but it's sort of my Spinal Tap moment, I guess. Phil he enjoyed a drink, and as a result of that, lost his driving privileges for life. But because he had been a good boy, and because he and I had been friends for quite a while at that time, and I could vouch for him, he had stopped drinking and was perfectly great. So they were going to give him back his driver's license. And I was going to take him to court. But the day before this, he went and got on his moped to ride up to the store, his scooter, to buy something, and it wouldn't run. But he had another one sitting next to it, and he went to get the part that he needed off of that one to replace it so he could ride, and he grabbed a hornet's nest.
Oh.
Oh dear. You see...
Apparently it's not the same as bees or whatever. It takes a while because it affects your cardiovascular system. So he went about his business for the next day. And that night, his mom called and told him she was going to drop some stuff off at his house. He said, okay. And when she got over there, she found him in cardiac arrest on the floor. I was like, holy moly. So that kind of took the wind out of our sails for a while there.
We do.
Phil and I, not only were in Haymarket Riot, we were in a number of other projects together. We kind of went as a team, rhythm section, bass player, drummer.
Well, John, I got to say, my condolences there. It really, really is. Believe me, I understand about that because I'm allergic to wasps and bee stings as well. Believe me, I have to have the pen in an emergency.
Yeah, it's serious stuff, clearly.
It really is. It really is. And believe me, if anything can get me, that will. Not much else, you know. Believe me, my wife's been trying to kill me off for years.
Just can't get bees.
Yeah, but she says she can't get the insurance on it. Never mind. You never know what's inside, right? You just never know what's inside. What's inside, John?
Stuff. Lots of stuff.
Tell
This
me.
song is also from the Healing Blues, by the way.
Okay.
This is a woman from New York. Her name is Yolanda. And I wrote this one with Charlotte. But she disappeared. So she was one of the ones who didn't make it, I'm guessing. And interesting tidbit, this song, they wrote up a review in Blues Magazine or something about the album and said this was a great song, radio worthy, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, it's not blues. It's whatever the hell it is, right? Classic rock. But it is the only 12-bar blues song on the Healing Blues album.
There you go. You're right. Here we go. See 107 FM, joined by Dr. John Epstein, the man himself from Haymarket Riot. Yeah. And what's inside? How you feeling, John? You okay?
Yeah, doing good, man.
Nice, nice.
I haven't listened to this Healing Blues stuff for a while now. It's kind of fun.
Now, tell me, you obviously have new work coming out in the near future. Would you toss some our way? Can we do this again?
Oh yeah, man, anytime. This
Nice.
is fun. I love this stuff.
Nice.
And I've always, this sounds really like suck-up-ish, but I've always been a huge fan of New Zealand, man. Always have. You guys just have your shit together.
Oh, that's good.
And by way of comparison, let's say that.
Yeah, fair enough,
know,
too. Well,
And plus, I mean, come on. Jungle-dwelling penguins? Come on. That's
why not?
and crickets the size of baseballs? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would live there in a second.
Absolutely. Well, actually, we've got nothing.
I've
we've
tried
got
once.
nothing
I lived
deadly.
integrated.
Yeah,
You'd be surprised. I mean, my resume is kind of a funny one, right? Criminologist, rock and roll guy.
exactly. Believe me, I've been reading it. I got your bio. I really do. But we've got nothing deadly here in New Zealand unless you meet up with my mother.
Okay.
She's a challenge.
No crocs, no snakes.
My father was a powder monkey in the coal mines. He used to blow stuff up for a living. So
Cool.
I was brought up.
Everybody likes something that goes boom, man. A
Yep.
good explosion is awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. Believe me, the
That's
adrenaline
kids.
rush. Yeah. And I remember going down the mines. I started school about 5 years of age, right?
We all do.
School holidays, first school holidays, the old woman says to me,
Don't
"You're
call
out
the
of
old
here."
woman.
Well, my mother
That's
said
not
to me,
nice.
"You're out of here." I went, "Where am I going?" She goes, "You're going to work with Dad." I mean, he works down the coal mines. So I remember literally going down the pit with pit ponies, canaries and cages, and a carbine lamp, a flame on my head, and methane gas. Now, how intelligent is
right.
that? You know what I mean? Weird. And then we're blowing stuff up in the same gas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, good move, eh?
I grew up in Ohio, not far from coal country here, so I've known people that have worked in the mines and been in some just touristy, not tourist places, but going as a let us show you the coal mine thing. You know?
No, thanks.
I'm like, sure, because I've never seen a coal mine, so let's do that. I'd love to.
Okay.
That's well, life is about experience, man.
I
So
tell you what.
If you get the chance to try something new and different, especially outside of your comfort zone, do it.
Oh, well, you've got
Well,
something for him in a minute.
I got something to talk to you about actually, because believe me,
Okay.
we would love for you to come here in New Zealand and play
Yeah,
in front of
bring
New Zealand
Terry.
audiences. So can we talk about that?
I would do that. Absolutely, I would do that.
Nice. Let's go back to the desk. Oops. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 22 away from lunchtime, 12 o'clock noon, 23 degrees.
I win.
Yeah, Barbara wins, unfortunately. Oh, I was riding the wave there for a little while, you know what I mean? I thought, nah, no way is she going to win. Well, what do you know, come from behind, she wins again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good.
Congratulations,
Oh,
Barbara.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have this game, we really do. It is Wednesday, officially Barbara's Hump Day, March 31st, and I'm joined by John Epstein, coming from the band Haymarket Riot. I also want to talk to him about Uncle Watson's widow a little down the track, I really, really do. But first of all, we were just contemplating the idea of getting John and the band Haymarket Riot here in New Zealand. Once we get the borders open and start doing tours and everything again, would you consider coming to New Zealand and playing in front of New Zealand audiences?
I absolutely would. Absolutely. I absolutely would. We've always wanted to come to New Zealand. I'm not 100% on Australia, but New Zealand for sure.
Yeah, well, I understand about Australia. You know, it's full of Australians.
Yeah, and all kinds of scary animals.
Yeah, exactly. Believe me, I know that. Just having a little bit of problems with the headphones right now. Can you say something?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
No.
Hello.
Yeah, but you guys are at the end of summer, early fall, right?
Yeah, we're about to turn our clocks back this weekend, actually. So officially, yeah, we're coming into winter. But having said that, I mean, it's been a really weird kind of summer. I got to be honest with you. It hasn't been, you know, the hot, long periods of sunshine that you expect. It's sort of been quite mellow and, you know, gloomy, rainy, and strange, to be honest. It doesn't feel like we've had a summer and or winter. It's just been the same season all year round.
That's not a good thing.
Well, I don't know.
Well, it makes it very pleasant, right? But it's probably not a good thing.
Well, I don't know.
Things generally are not, so.
I'm sorry, just work with me here. I'm actually, getting a little something going on.
Okay, we'll go back over here.
Try chatting again, John.
Okay. What is it, an audio problem?
Yeah, it's sort of cracking up a little bit. Maybe we might need to replace a jack or something like that. You know what I mean?
Could be on my end too. Next time I'm sitting right next to my board. Next time I'll throw a real microphone in there.
Okay. Well, it could be too. But now, at the same time, I got to warn you, John, that here in New Zealand, well, we're a little crazy, okay?
Well, yeah. I figured that out.
We do like to be able to challenge ourselves, and, well, we kind of have this mantra that if it doesn't scare you at least once a day, then, you know, life ain't worth living, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan Cohen is joining us, and Dale Hammond is on board as well. Nice to have you on board, brother man. And believe me, talking to an absolute talent today, Dr. John Epstein from the band Haymarket Riot. Now, have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
Here we go.
A hoo-hoo grub? No.
Okay, well, you're familiar with a caterpillar, right?
I am.
And believe me, this is a tradition that we do here, not only at Aurora Entertainments that Barbara manages and brings bands into the country, but the indigenous folks, the Maori, still have these as a delicacy. It's big, it's white. Well, you know, it's like a double-decker bus to a Mini, actually, if you want to compare it to a Caterpillar. But what you do...
It's a big-ass Caterpillar.
Yeah, kind of, you know, on steroids, you know what I mean? And what you do is you put the... Now, you may want a bit of alcohol, and most people want it, you know, before, during, and after. But, yeah, they do. But you put the live body in your mouth, rip off the head. The head's like... It's yucky, really. But when you crunch down on the body, it tastes like creamy peanut butter.
Well, you know, there you go then. I've had ants that tasted like almonds, so there you go.
Well, actually, I have too, to be honest with you. Yeah, but you know the problem with almonds, don't you? You don't know whether it's dangerous or not.
Right.
Yeah, if you smell almonds, get the hell out, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't mind oranges, mainly because there's plenty of orange trees and everything around us right now, including kiwi fruit. Now, having said that, have you ever heard of Queenstown?
Pardon?
Have you ever heard of Queenstown?
The city?
Well, it kind of wants to be a city. It's a little boutique town. Let me tell you, New Zealand is made up of 3 islands. Right down the bottom is a place called Stewart Island. Really, the only part of New Zealand that got a decent name, to be honest, because they ran out of imagination and named the next one South and the one after that North. Yay. I mean...
So is Stewart Island north or south of the other 2 islands?
It's south of the other 2 islands. In fact...
That should be south.
Well, it should be south-south if you're going to go south. Really. But believe me, it's right... Stewart Island. What would you call the South Island if you were going to name it? There's a good idea. And what?
North or South Island.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Anyway, down the west coast of the South Island, right down the bottom, there's a little place called Queenstown. Now, it's not Queensland like you get in Australia. Yeah, that's the place where men wander around in long dresses and high heels, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they drive fast.
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah, they drive fast in cars and stuff like that. You know, drag racing, something like that. Anyway, anyway, down Queenstown, and believe me, it's a little boutique kind of town, wall to wall. Literally, it's right smack in the middle of a range, and flying in there is a challenge in itself. It's like you're going along, and then suddenly you bang, you're on the ground.
I did that into a place in Virginia once. I'd do that again.
Yeah, but the turbulence is absolutely superb. And I got to be honest with you, last time I went down there, I had a rather large guy sitting window seat next to me from America too. He was from Colorado, and he was white knuckling it, absolutely white knuckling it. And he looks at me and he goes, "Do you think we're going to crash?" Well, don't worry about it. We'll go straight to the scene of the crime. Yeah, guy did not like that ride at all. But believe me, you know Shania Twain?
I don't know her. I know of her. I've heard her music, yes.
Okay, well, she owns property down there. Kevin Costner goes down there from time to time. Keanu Reeves, yeah, Tom Cruise. They all go there, all the A-listers, to get away from the paparazzi and wives, husband. You know what I mean, you know?
Yeah.
So you never...
It's a getaway. It's a getaway spot.
Yeah, believe me. And you never know who you might bump into, literally. But I got to be honest with you, John. You don't want to bump into me.
No.
No. Well, I'll throw you off a bridge.
Okay, well, yeah, right.
Yeah, it's the bungee jumping mecca of New Zealand.
Oh, yeah?
And, well, you're not Australian. We'll attach the bungee.
Good. I'd do that. I have done that.
Nice.
That was a rush.
You're right
Yeah,
to
no
the end.
doubt.
Well, the guy who actually brought it to New
But, you
Zealand...
know, I'm a bit older now. It might break something, but let's go for it.
Yeah, fair enough. And I tell you what, we'll put you out on the swing as well. It swings you right out over the canyon that they have there. Absolutely fantastic fun.
That sounds awesome.
And I'll tell you, while we're there too, they have a thing called the shot over jet down there. These 2 huge, and I mean they're huge, jet boats, and they go down the Shotover River. They will turn the thing inside out, upside down, and all around, and you won't spill a drop of your beer.
Really?
That's fun. It really is. and they get ridiculously close to the walls of the canyons and everything like that. Really, it is a thrill ride to behold, it really is, and we'll get you on that as well.
I do that.
I'm thinking maybe about 4 shows here in New Zealand, 8 shows in Australia. We better make it worthwhile. We'll do some in Australia as well, but only because we like the Australian money, right?
Well, you know, money is now sort of an international thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
It'll come over PayPal or something.
Yeah, well, you know, as long as it's not Bitcoin, right?
I don't even know what that is. I've tried to figure it out. It's just it's one more layer of pretend.
Yeah, well,
So
you know, apparently it's something that's supplying the terrorists with all their weapons.
Apparently, yes. It's somebody actually must value it. So there you go.
It's untraceable, apparently. The banks can't keep an eye on it. So, not going there, really not. It could be a bad penny.
Oh.
Good segue, bad penny. This song is a song that I can't seem to get through a breakfast show without playing. Why not? Tell me all about it.
We did this song with our friend Charles Johnson from the band TK421. His day job is actually as the guitar player for a #1 selling smooth jazz saxophone player. So the fact that he rocks out is a good thing. And I was breaking Phil into recording in the studio because he had been a live guy. And he worked all the time playing drums live and never did anything in the studio. We were getting ready to do the album, which we did after this. So I said, let's do this song. And Chuck was in town, so I brought him in. And bingo, there it just happened. The cool thing about it is the very end, we had worked it out so we were going to stop right after a chorus, and Phil forgot. So he kept playing the drums. And Benji, who was playing rhythm guitar, looked over at me and said, keep going. And we just kept rolling. So the last couple minutes of that song were just what happened, just the 4 of us sitting there. It worked out surprisingly well. Good tune, right?
Absolutely, and believe me, right now, I've been told 2,727 requests since we've been playing it. That's why.
No kidding.
That's why.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Tell your friends.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
tell Chuck.
That's why I'm playing it in the breakfast show every day, pretty much, right here at Galaxy. Here is the #1 charting song of Haymarket Riot and Bad Penny at Galaxy. We love this, bro.
Chuck is a intense guitar player. He is so good. Yep. I mean, it's amazing.
And
I'm actually very honored to play with that guy because I've seen him pick up any instrument and play it. It's insane. I don't know how he does it. Oh, a violin? Okay.
I hate people like that.
Yeah, right? Come on, man. I've been playing guitar my whole life and I'm just now figuring it out.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I'm still going, oh, that's what that is.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Believe me, I've been playing guitar for a number of years as well, and you know, I'm still a learner, but I hate people that can just, oh, it's a piano, and
Well, it's the idea that, you know, you're always learning. I mean, if you read like Steve Vai, who is, what, you love him or hate his music, I mean, this guy is an accomplished guitar player.
exactly.
And you ask him how, and it's because every day he's trying to learn something new, trying to do something different. And shoot, I did an interview with him once when I was writing for a magazine and asked him what he had been doing that day, just making conversation. And he said he was trying to play the rose bush. I was like, what are you talking about? So I looked out the window, realized there was 5 things to the fence, and my wife's roses growing up them, and that it was a musical staff. So I'm trying to play it.
Fair enough.
I was going, oh my God. You're a weird dude, right, Steve?
Well, I actually did a show with Steve Vai in Auckland, and he came over here, was promoting carbon fibre guitars at the time. Great show. In fact, I got one of my bands to be the curtain raiser for him. And when he was out at the back in the green room, all he could do was play with his guitar. You know, he
Yep.
didn't want to talk to anybody or anything like that. Just
Zach Wilde does that too. He never puts it down.
yeah. In fact, I've got another friend of mine that's just like that. He's been like that since he was a kid. Yeah.
Oh, Carrigal.
We have Joe Bonamassa. I mean, that guy's always got a guitar in his hand.
There you go. Yeah, believe me, I think he sleeps with us though.
I mean, he put that his first gig with B.B. King was when he was 11 or 12 or
Something like that. Yeah.
You know. Wow.
Natural born killer on the X, bro.
Actually, I mean, I'm not too stuck up to admit I learned a lot from watching that guy.
Fair
I
enough.
really did.
Fair enough.
You know.
Yep. Me myself, I was a more of a, not so much a Jimi Hendrix follower, but I was more of an Eric Clapton kind of guitarist, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But
More traditional, straight up blues instead of the insane
yeah,
Hendrix.
yeah.
I was a big Hendrix guy when I was a kid. My mom blamed him for all my problems.
Well,
But, which is good because it got me out from responsibility.
there you go. Well, my problem was apparently I didn't take enough LSD.
Yeah, he got to the heroin much too soon.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, somewhere between those two guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Well, that's Bonamassa, right? Because he can do both.
Could
But
be
he
Robert.
kind of sort of stays
Yeah.
in the middle.
It could be, or it could be Robert Cray.
Robert Cray. Seen him a couple times. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
He's so smooth.
Isn't
so
he?
smooth.
Isn't he? Absolutely. I fully agree with you there. We actually saw him here in New Zealand a number of years ago. Killer show.
Well, you guys figure out how to bring us to New Zealand, and I will get my band over there if I have to do it at gunpoint, although I imagine I'll have to leave that at JFK.
Yeah, I think you might actually. We got different laws over here.
I bet you they have a locker for it.
I'm pretty sure they do. They have a lock up if you've got one. Anyway, one thing I will say though, if you're going to hang out with me, bail money, just in case.
You'll need
Bail
bail
money.
money.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm into shenanigans, you see, so you never know.
And an attorney on retainer.
Oh, we got some good lawyers.
Attorney on retainer.
Yep,
You never know when you're going to need to call.
yep. Well, we've got some good lawyers here too, as well. So
I know.
we got you sorted there. I got to be honest with you. I'm loving Bad Penny like crazy. It was the very first song I ever heard of yours, John, and just absolutely love it. The artists, the audience that listen to us have picked up on it like crazy. Are you going to be releasing new music? Will you come back again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to tell you the truth, I honestly feel that my bass playing on Bad Penny is probably my best recorded performance ever. And it was probably because I was in there with Chuck and Phil and it was very loose. Now I wasn't worried about impressing anybody, you know?
Hang in there, bro. Hold on. Let's go back to the desk. Oh, that did. Okay.
Yeah, you need to listen to the Uncle Watson's Widow then. If you like that, then you should like that.
Yeah, believe me, John. I've heard a few tracks from the Uncle Watson's Widow work as well, and believe me, I'm looking forward to talking to you again in the near future as Uncle Watson's Widow.
Sounds good.
Yeah, believe me.
That's fine.
But in the meantime, we're right here with Haymarket Riot right now, and are you going to be releasing a new album anytime soon? Will you come back again?
Yes. In fact, that's funny you should ask it. I was speaking to Charlotte about this yesterday because she just got her second COVID shot, so we're good to go now. We can now actually be in the same room together. And we had an album done, and it's in the can. It was the one that Phil played on. And we need to listen back to that and decide if we want to release that or if we just need to start from scratch. Either way, we're talking about sometime, well, here it's spring. So sometime this spring getting started on that. I'm finishing up the other projects album this month in April. So
I tell you what, Phil, John, I would absolutely love it if you'd come back again as Haymarket Riot and we do more interviews there. But at the same time, let's fill everybody in about Uncle Watson's Widow now, because I absolutely love this work as well. But it's a little different from the Haymarket Riot stuff, isn't it?
It is. Haymarket Riot is what I do with Charlotte, with the singer. The Bad Penny and the stuff I did with Chuck was fine with her because we're all friends, but that was just because it was good fun. But in doing that stuff with Chuck, I realized that I wanted to do a little bit of branching out and doing other stuff and explore things like 7-string guitars and baritone guitars and things like that that don't fit with Charlotte, right? Because as you can tell, because you've listened to her now, she has very distinct vocals, and I find that I play guitar and bass to her vocals. So I take my cues from her. Uncle Watson's Widow let me do what the hell I wanted to do, which growing up in Cleveland, Ohio means really loud and distorted guitars. So there you go.
But,
A lot of years in metal bands, buddy. A lot of years in metal bands.
well, I got to be honest with you. I'm loving both styles, if you know what I mean. And it shows the diversity of John Epstein as well. It really, really does. So we're going to wrap it up here right now. Got to say hi to Tina as well. Thank you for joining us, coming out of Oklahoma. And big shout out to Angel as well. For everybody that's watching us right now on Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining us, not only once, not only twice, but 3 times today here at Galaxy. Please come back again in the near future with all of the interviews that we do, including important people like Dr. John Epstein from Haymarket Riot coming out of North Carolina. Don't go anywhere, John, but in the meantime, we'll just switch over to the other channel, the other studio. You're right here at Galaxy. Good morning.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Galaxy 107 FM.
Bye.
How was that, John?